Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. How's everyone doing? Welcome in, welcome in. What are we doing today? We are doing a Divine Feminine check-in. Let's take a moment to ground ourselves. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out the mouth. Getting your body and energy in present time. Opening ourselves up to receive what wants to come through. Okay, Spirit, thank you for being with us. What is the feminine collective confronting at this time? What do we need to know? Thank you. What do we need to know? What are the blocks showing up on our path? What are the solutions to those blocks for the highest and best good of self and the planet? Okay, we have a bunch coming out here. Bear with me. Let's get organized. Okay, first card out, happy ending in reverse. Don't worry, everything's a process. We have a lot of root chakra happening here. Self-love came out, happy endings. All start with self-love, discipline, and spiritual career. I mean, come on. If I could handpick cards for a feminine reading, it would be this reading. Okay, let's see what's in the unconscious position. Compassion. All right. Let's just cover Mother Gaia here with some compassion. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Solar plexus, tons of root chakra, crown chakra. Having, are some of you pushing away compassion for yourself? For where you're at or where you're not at? Are some of you putting pressure on yourself to be somewhere other than where you are? Specifically regarding career feminines. I mean, sorry, it's just the gravity of this reading is really hitting me. It's very thick energy and also very sharp. It's like a massive, like a really thick tunnel-sized drilling through our awareness right now. So bear with me while I gather myself. Okay, a lot of random messages are coming through, so I'm just going to spit fire and see where it takes us. Again, we are surrendering to this river and allowing it to float us down. There's no resistance. We're not here to fix anything. We're here to allow these messages to work on us. There's no destination. We're here just to be present with what's arising, okay? All right. Feminine collective needs to love. Okay. Sorry, hold on. We need to love ourselves enough to take up enough space to go at our own pace so that we can access wise discernment. We are being called to have enough discipline to take heart-centered action, heart-centered, self-loving action towards ourselves and our lives. To give an example, what's coming through is when we do not love ourselves enough, we often tend to avoid speaking our truth in important situations that would help release any sort of attachment to family of origin things. I'm sorry, this reading, if you look at this shield of cards right here, it feels like a dungeon gate shutting or something. It's like such thick density, like a sharp arm, like a guillotine coming down and cutting through the BS. Feminines, this is it. Like, in order to step into whatever thing you desire, your spiritual career. Now, that could look like an actual spiritual career. We've been seeing this for feminines for about a year now. That, of course, as you love yourself more and more, as you come into pristine alignment with your truth, with your gifts, with your desires, with your voice, with your power, yes, of course, those things will help you move through any sort of career related things and bring spirit with you. So spiritual career could be an actual spiritual career. Maybe some of you are healers or writers or energy workers or oracle readers or tarot readers or, you know, meditation specialists. Like, yes, sure, it could be an actual spiritual career, but it could also be you taking a step towards your professional alignment and bringing spirit with you. There's this wonderful, wonderful 2-hour talk between Carolyn Mace and Clarissa Pinkola Estes that I think every woman should listen to. Every feminine, dominant feminine energy should listen to. I think it's called Intuition and the Mystical Voice. And the whole premise of this talk between two of these powerhouse, deeply spiritually successful women, the core of their talk is basically like, what do women need to hear right now that would support them connecting with their intuitive voice, and what's hindering that voice? And if we could give them advice for the future, what would that advice be? It's really powerful. Why am I telling you this? There's a reason. I already forgot. Hold on. Oh, yes. Thank you, Spirit. Clarissa Pinkola Estes has this wonderful idea. She's like, what would happen if we brought indigenous grandmothers into the boardroom at P&G? For those of you who don't know, Procter and Gamble is a very like massive, they make all these products, and I don't support them because a lot of their products have a bunch of chemicals, but whatever. For the sake of this story, it's just like a very conventionally successful like corporate structure. What would happen if you brought an indigenous grandmother into the boardroom at one of these companies? What would her voice be? What would she say? Would they conflict or would they find a neutral ground? The point of this sort of thought experiment from Dr. Estes is to think about how would the world change? How would your specific life change if you brought your internal wise one to the table? How would it shape and, they're showing me a big brick of clay. Like, what shape? I'm doing this off screen. You can't see, but, what shape would emerge if everything in your life, everything, I mean, relationships, energy, your home, your door, your dress, the way you dress yourself, the way you speak, how would it change if this sort of powerhouse feminine energy was fueling you, was fueling your decisions, was fueling your self-esteem? How would it shape and mold your life? And would it be supportive? I'm leaning towards hell yes, it would be supportive. Moving through this planet connected to source, having your third eye, your pineal gland wide open and sparkling because it's a crystalline structure. It's a gem. You could picture it like a shimmering diamond, if you will. What would it look like to move through the planet informed by spirit in all matters? In all matters, and being strong enough, disciplined enough, loving self enough to make these discernments out in the world, to make them within yourself. In order to make them out in the world, we have to first be able to make them for ourselves. So feminines, you are being called to have higher discipline right now with your heart's deepest truth. Right? How many times are we in situations, whether in our personal lives or our professional lives, where we're doing something that maybe we aren't a hell yes to? Maybe we're doing something that is maybe on the outside successful and prosperous for a specific goal, but maybe it's not heart-centered and heart-aligned. What comes to mind is all these big companies right now, a really big fight that a lot of small local farmers are having all over the United States is that these big solar companies want to come and buy up a lot of agricultural land and put solar farms on them, right? That might serve the bottom line, right? That might serve the financial goals of a company, but it doesn't serve the natural world, right? There's plenty of already man-made structures that these solar panels or whatever can go on, right? They can go on the top of schools or of parking lots or of reservoirs or train stations or all the buildings that already exist, or big box stores. These companies should go develop a contract with a Costco and put their farms on a huge building like that. Why are they kind of raping and pillaging more land and taking away really nutrient dense land that could serve these local communities? It's very crazy what's going on. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a soapbox tangent, but this is an example of how sort of we might find ourselves in these precarious situations where our morals, values, our self-love, our love of other, it's all the same thing, right? So because of oneness, because we are part of nature, because there is no other, when we start to put ourselves in the position of other, we would probably most likely make different decisions. Okay, I'm sorry I went off on that whole tangent, but this is so important, feminines, that you really understand that in order to love yourself, it's going to require discipline. This is not staring in the mirror saying affirmations for 20 minutes. This is like when you get an intuitive hit to do something, you freaking do it. It drops down, right? That gnosis drops down into our third eye, drops down to our throat. We are able to speak the truth, right? We can say sometimes, like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then the hard work begins. It drops from the throat chakra to the heart chakra, and then boom, the hardest place of all is this solar plexus chakra. This is the self-confidence. This is how we feel about ourselves. This is the center of our power. It's not an accident that the center of our power just lies below our heart chakra. That's not an accident, okay? The heart chakra is the bridge. It bridges the upper worlds and the lower worlds, the upper chakras and the lower chakras. This is so very important, that to understand that in order to get your happy ending, feminines, you're going to have enough faith and enough faith in yourself, enough empowerments. Literally, when you think of the word empowerment, literally it's power within, right? So we have to have enough power within to take ourselves over the threshold, over the portal, over the finish line into that sort of disciplined way of living, where we have to be disciplined in word and deed, that we're not going to do something that crosses our boundary, that betrays or rejects a part of self, right? How many times do we betray ourselves a day when we're working for other people, when we're doing things that really, really go against our belief system? It happens everywhere all the time. Do I tell this story? Long story short, I worked in a clinical job in a hospital for 15 years, and the majority of that was lovely because the people were lovely. And then slowly but surely, the infrastructure in which we were operating in started to not honor the whole point of why we're all here. We're all here because we're working essentially for the patient. The patient, they talk about patient-centered care. Well, I was there for a long enough amount of time where the patient started not to be at the center of the priorities. And when that shifts, when the whole core of the mission shifts, it trickles down and has a really unfortunate effect, and patient care suffers, right? If you're not in alignment with the core reason of why you're doing something or why you're there or how you're doing it, it's going to affect the most vulnerable parts of self, right? In the hospital, it affected the most vulnerable population, people who are sick, people who are coming to this building to heal and they were vulnerable and they needed support. And it was very hard to work in that environment when, let me just say this, most empaths find their way in either education or healthcare or some sort of healing arts because we have loving hearts, or social work, we have loving hearts. We want to help everybody. And again, it doesn't matter which entrance you entered this sort of rite of passage, this hero's journey in, you're going to have to confront those parts within yourself, right? A lot of empaths feel that, okay, if I could just save the world, then I won't have to feel this pain. Well, that's just not true, because pain is part of the world. So part of an empath's hero's journey is learning how to have boundaries, right? That's the biggest thing we could probably talk about here. Boundaries against how much we let into our hearts, how much we abandon or betray the truth that is boiling out of our hearts. Feminines, again, I'm going to bring it back to your own personal empowerment. Self-esteem and personal power and intuition are all directly related. When you increase one, you increase all. So whatever this is for you, right now, I'm going to do a thought experiment right now. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of my nice warm lemon water. One moment. My throat was really drying up because I was on my soapbox. Forgive me. Okay, let's reground here. I totally forgot what I was about to say, and that's okay. Maybe it wasn't meant to come out. I can't stop staring at these two cards, the self-discipline and self-love. Separate message here, feminines, for some of you. You're going, in order to overcome what's blocking this self-discipline and self-love, I'm going to invite you to return to your childhoods. Somewhere along the way in your upbringing, someone or something may have planted a seed that you were not enough as you are, that you were not worthy, that you could not possibly be someone that could change their circumstances. Whatever your version of this story is, you have to confront it. You have to bring it out of the shadow into the light and companion it. Integrate that painful part, integrate the insecure, the vulnerable part. By pushing this piece away, by not having compassion and empathy for the child that was suffering in those moments, or that was, suffering is has a big spectrum, right? But suffering could also be a child's spirit being broken. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. It's very difficult. Children are so wide-eyed and open-hearted. They are so sacred. They are so vulnerable. And they understand naturally oneness. We come into this world, and probably about for the first 8, 7, 8, 10 years of life, we are operating in this beautiful oneness energy. Like, kids make friends. They could go up to anyone. They could hug anyone. There's these beautiful, sweet, precious, innocent creatures. And they are also the most vulnerable. And it's when the world can do the most damage to them. And so in order to overcome whatever this is, we first have to know what it is, right? In order to integrate this sort of shadow part of self, we have to excavate it. We have to honor what it is. Let's get some inner child messages really quick. I wasn't going to go here, but we ended up going here. So let's just be present, right? Let's let all of these internal parts know they have a seat at the table, that they are welcome anytime, that it is safe for these vulnerable parts to be here, that we will support them, that we will companion them. Spirit, what do we need to know about these inner children for the highest investigative self on the planet? Whoa, thank you. Okay, we got a bunch. I'm going to take them all. Oh, this is a lot. I'm not going to take them all. Hold on. Can you be more specific, Spirit? Can you be more specific? Thank you. Okay. We have write a letter. Write a letter to your inner child. That's one possibility. We have you are worthy. You are worth it, my love. Hold on. Let me just get it all out. There's so much here. My emotions are very on the surface with this reading. Thank you. Okay, we're taking all of these. Screw it. We have listen. Your inner child has something to say. Flow with the rhythm. Get lost in the rhythm of movement today. And then we have become aware. Listen to the wisdom of the body. Let me move this over here. Listen to the wisdom of the body. Our somatic journey through pain holds some of the most precious treasures. So when you start to dive into this, your past, or if something arises, mind you, you could just set the intention. We let's make this journey the easiest it could possibly be. Let's not go running around looking to solve some sort of problem that we think we are. Let us set the intention with the quantum field. Let us say, Spirit, gift me an awareness. Show me what I need to know that's holding me back from my childhood. Is there show me a limiting belief, a fear, whatever you want to show me, and I will take accountability for whatever shows up on the altar. And when that thing shows up, pay attention to where it shows up in your body. Is it your shoulders? Is it your stomach? Is it your heart pounding? Is it a pain in your gut? Is it a full body contraction? Pay attention to where this sort of pain exists. This is your treasure map. Your body is a treasure map for the trauma and pain that you've experienced, feminines. This work is so precious and needs to be so pristine and clean and clear, so that you can appropriately step into the role as the divine parent and parent these parts of yourself back to love, back to self. We are not trying to force a transformation here. We are holding love with no matter what shows up at the table. We are trying to create safety for wholeness to arrive. I think that's a really powerful transition, feminines, that instead of healing or success being your goal, those are very kind of abstract. Like, we don't know what that looks like. I think what a more a goal that lets us a little bit off the hook, or a cleaner, more inclusive goal, is to have the goal of wholeness. So we're not trying to get rid of our pain, our darkness, our shadow, our history, our traumas. We're not trying to get rid of them. We are trying to welcome them to the table and honor their role in our lives, right? They are a piece of you. So if you push them away, you are betraying and abandoning that piece of you, and thus you cannot move forward in wholeness. When you discover what these obstacles, blockages, densities are in your family of origin or in your childhood, you are, I'm inviting you to write a letter to that inner part. I've been saying inner child, but it could be any age. It could be your inner teenager, your inner young adult. It could be your inner 45-year-old. It doesn't matter when or whatever, because time is an illusion. Like, it doesn't, it's not a thing. What matters is the quality, the tangible essence of that experience that's blocking you from stepping into this radical self-love, this infinite worthiness, this profound, learning how to love ourselves the way God loves us, or the way the, quantum field loves us, having enough discipline to create boundaries around that love, so that when someone or something steps over our boundaries, we do something about it. When someone or someone treads recklessly in our hearts, in our minds, over things that we hold near and dear and precious to us, we take action. We either know how to set a boundary and communicate that, or we cut that person, place, or thing out of our lives to maintain our equilibrium. Feminines, your goal here is to maintain your frequency, or to access this higher frequency. And because you're not yet in that sort of ecstatic, blissful existence, we have to go look and to see what's blocking it. Whoa, okay. I just happened to look really quick in the shadow position and what's blocking love. It says, let love guide you. Choose to see the good in the world today. I just really want to honor that sometimes there is so much pain and trauma that it really skews our view of the world. I just want to honor if you are in a position where you are really struggling to see the good in the world. I just want to honor that that's okay. It's okay. It's understandable that this part of yourself might feel broken or might feel fractured in some capacity. There's a lot of density being thrown at you. Honor it, but also don't focus on it. Your focus is on your own self-love and your own discipline within your own hearts. Holy crap, feminines. Really intense reading. Do we want any? Yeah, no, hold on. We're not done. I need to get a little mystical support here. Bear with me. I just need some mystical context. What do I mean by that? I mean, I need to ground this in the greater journey of what would this like, I don't even want to say galactic because it's bigger than that, this cosmic journey. Spirit, anything else you want to leave these beloved feminines on? What would you like to leave them with? Thank you so much. That's too many. Are we taking all of them? Screw it. We're taking all of them. Okay, we have star gathering, stars align, remembering home, soul, family. So if you struggle to have a peaceful upbringing or home existence, you are being called to remember your quantum home, your soul family, the family maybe you incarnated with, or your the family that's waiting for you when you return to this quantum existence. Okay, then we have Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirth by the light, and soul star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Do you see the similarities of all these cards? Do you see the vibe? The like, okay, like it's a lot of, sorry, I have to move this. It's annoying me. It's a lot of incarnation, you know. I always talk about this because I think it provides healing for some people, not all people. Some people this could add more stress to, but for those that it really sets free, I have to say it. I believe in soul contracts. I believe that we sign soul contracts to incarnate here on the planet, that we choose our parents, we choose our pain, we choose our trauma, we choose our siblings, we choose our beloveds, we choose the people that screw us over, we choose the people that took advantage of us. I believe that we chose to come here and learn something, and these awful experiences are the trials and tribulations that we have to overcome to set ourselves free in some capacity, to advance our souls and be rebirthed by the light in some capacity. So really, a lot of the pain that I've experienced, I've now parented it enough where I can look back at these moments with love, where I could look back at all of my pain and trauma and suffering and say, okay, that needed to happen to get me to two places. One, to free me of the attachment of the pain and suffering, but most importantly, so that I can hold space for other people that are in pain and suffering. And that's what we do every day. Excuse me. That's what I do every day. That's what I choose to do every single day. Yeah, and also remembering who you are, remembering that you have a quantum inheritance, that you are not the things that have happened to you. You are not the things that people have said to you, and to unblend from these narratives. But until we, this spiritual path is a cumulative journey, right? You have to kind of take step one. You can't jump to step 5, right? Step 5 is built upon steps 1 through 4, and you can't get there. You can't rush the process. So remembering, do I want to say anything else about that? No, let me just see what's in the unconscious position. We have Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, serenity. This is another message of worthiness, feminines. To no matter what, if you look at these, hold on, let me hold it up close so you can see. Look at all of these rings here, right? We have all these different rings in the center. All of these rings are your experiences, are your thoughts, are your relationships, are all of your life experience. And no matter what chaos is going on, picture it like a tornado. And this is the Heart of Source, is the eye of the storm. I don't know if anyone has ever been in a real tornado in the eye of the storm, but I've gone outside in the eye. It was really dumb, but my whole family did. It was so ridiculous. Anyway, it's eerie how quiet it is. It's like there's total destruction, and then the eye of the storm, it gets really silent. it gets really peaceful. And then slowly but surely, then the other side of the tornado comes and it gets crazy and chaotic again. Feminines, you are being called to find your eye of the storm, to find the eye of your storm, of your chaos, whatever that is, and to understand and honor that human chaos is divine order. So that if you are experiencing profound chaos in your life, divine order is at work. It's like the divine has uprooted you and is trying to shift around the puzzle pieces of your life to get you to your happy ending, to get you to your freedom, your sovereignty, your personal power. Ooh, feminines. I'm going to get one of these nature wilderness cards. Bear with me. Anything else, Spirit? What would you like to leave these beautiful, beloved feminines on? What would you like to leave them with? I just got a pit in my stomach. I don't know what that is. And I had half the deck flipped. Thank you. All right. We have journey. It says branch out to new worlds. This is just a really simple reminder that if you feel like your life is set in stone, I'm here to just dispel that myth. You have free will and you are free to make a new choice at any moment in time. Every moment in time, you get to make a new choice. Yes, it might be difficult. Yes, it might seem impossible, but really you have all the power. It's up to you to have enough, to love yourself enough, to have enough discipline to make choices that are in alignment with your heart's deepest truth. Beautiful feminines, I am sending you so much love and I will see you in the next one.